Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss some theorems of circles which are left. So, first theorems that we are going to discuss is regarding angles subtended by an arc of a circle. So, there are angles which are subtended by arcs. Suppose before we discuss those theorems, suppose we have two chords given. Here the chords are AB and CD. Now, if these two chords of a circle are equal, then their corresponding arcs are congruent and conversely, which means that if AB is equals to CD, then we can say their corresponding arcs are also equal in nature. Congruent means they are equal in nature. And conversely means if their arcs are equal, then the corresponding chords which are formed by these arcs are also equal. So this is a supposed theory that we have to understand regarding chords and arcs. This was about the arcs. Now the angles which are subtended by the arcs. Here again we can say congruent arcs or equal arcs of a circle subtends equal angle at the center. That means in here the minor arc PQ subtends angle O at the center, whereas the major angle PQ, major arc PQ will form the reflex angle of POQ. So which are also if we compare this with another circle with same arc, then we can say that the angle subtended by those two arcs of two different circles are subtends equal angle at the center. So regarding these angles in the arc, we have the first theorem as theorem 8, and it says the angle subtended by an arc at the center is double the angle subtended by it at any point of the remaining part of the circle. That means if I am to discuss this, the angle subtended by the arc PQ at the center is angle POQ. This angle will be 2 times the angle at A and angle at C. That means we can say angle POQ is equals to 2 times the angle PCQ. Again we can say angle POQ is equals to 2 times the angle PAQ. Now this point A and C is on the remaining part of the circle. If we consider the arc PQ, then the remaining part of the circle is full this part. In this part, if any point we consider, then the angle subtended by the center by that arc PQ, in here the angle at the center subtended by the arc PQ is POQ. This angle will be 2 times the angle subtended at the remaining part. Remaining part means the top portion over here. At A, it will be PAQ. So POQ will be 2 times PAQ. Similarly, at C is the remaining part of the circle. So the angle POQ should be equal to 2 times angle PCQ. So this is one of the important theorem in circles. Then theorem 9, we have angles in the same segment of a circle are equal. Now here PQ is the arc and the segment is the top portion of the circle. In this segment lies A and C. So the angle PAC should be equal with angle the angle PAQ should be equal with the angle PCQ. Since A and C is in the same segment of the circle, if we consider PQ as a minor arc, then the segment will be on the top part, and in that part the point C and the point A lies in the same segment. So the angle formed by these two segments will be equal in nature. Now theorem 10 of angle subtended by arcs. In theorem 10, it says if a line segment joining two points subtends equal angle at two other points lying on the same side of the line containing the line segment, the 4 points lie on a circle, that is, they are concyclic. Here, BC is the line and A and D falls on the same side of the line containing the line segment. So if BC is the line and we consider this major segment, then we can say that A and D lies in the same major segment. So we can say that angle BAC, now if we join the lines A and C and B and D, then if we say that angle BC is a line and angle BAC should be equals to angle BDC as they lie in the same segment, then we can say that the 4 points lie on the circle. So we are following theorem 9 along with that BC is the line segment that we have considered. So all the 4 points should lie on the circle. Then we can say such a circle is a concyclic circle. Now we come to two important theorems in cyclic quadrilateral. Theorem number 11. In theorem number 11, it says the sum of either pair of opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral is 180 degree. So first, it will be given to us that ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral. In this cyclic quadrilateral, the angle BAD and the angle BCD together should form 180 degree. The sum should be 180 degree. Again, if we consider the opposite sides, opposite angles again, then we can say angle BDC, this angle, and angle BABC, this angle. If we add these two angles, then we should get 180 degree if it is a cyclic quadrilateral. So if the question says that the diagram is a cyclic quadrilateral or the quadrilateral is a cyclic quadrilateral, then we can say the opposite angles, the sum of the opposite angles is 180 degree. Now theorem 12 is a converse of theorem 11. So now if the angles, the sum is 180 given, the angle A plus angle C is equals to 180 degree and angle B and angle D is equals to 180 degree, then we can say ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral. So if the sum of the pair of opposite angles of a quadrilateral is 180 degree, then we can say it is cyclic quadrilateral. So it follows each other. If the diagram is a cyclic quadrilateral, then it should follow that the opposite angles, sum of the opposite angles is 180 degree. And if it is given that the sum of the opposite angle is 180, then the diagram should follow cyclic quadrilateral. So these were the 5 different theorems that we have come across today. I hope this tutorial is helpful for you. Thank you.